Good morning, boys and girls, and happy Monday, day 36 of distant learning. Sad note, this is our last full week together. Yeah, that's a lot to take in. But anyways, remember that your science lesson will be towards the end of this video, okay? Now, for reading this week, your packet has been completely transformed. So what that means is there are 2 stories in your packet that you will be using this week, and then there are 3 other stories that I have posted onto Class Dojo for you to be reading for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, okay? I don't want you working out of the packets at all this week, except for those 2 stories, okay? And the first one will be what you will be working on today. Now, everything that you do today is the same thing that you will be doing all week, just with a different story. Okay, so what that means is you're going to first annotate the story. And when I say annotate, we know that annotating is when readers take notes or highlight important details to help us better understand a text. So if you don't take notes, you're not annotating. You need to annotate these texts, okay? You should be numbering the paragraphs, circling words or phrases that you don't know, writing important notes on the side, drawing stars next to important information, hearts next to fun facts, and sad faces next to things that you don't agree with, okay? Annotating, taking those notes to help you better understand the text. Alrighty, so you'll be annotating today and the rest of this week's text. And then daily, I will be posting questions to go along with these texts, okay? And yeah, so again, the texts are downloaded onto Class Dojo, so your parent guardian could click on that, download it, they'll have it saved, and then you can just use those. But know that the first 2 stories for Monday and Tuesday are inside of your packet, okay? Don't do the work that's inside of your packet. I'm not asking you to do any research like the packet is telling you. Instead, I'm just going to be giving you daily the questions that you'll be answering, okay? Now, let's talk about Monday's questions. I've also included those in this post. But let's discuss them a little bit. So number 1 says, in the fall, what did students do at Madison Elementary School in California? So this is talking about a specific time in the fall. They want to know what the students did at this school in California. So when you're going back into your text, you want to look for where they're talking about in the fall, okay? Find that in your text to help you better answer the question, okay? Number 2 says, describe what happened after the students harvested their crops in January. What does it mean to describe? To describe means to tell us in detail, okay? So taking details from the story, explain to us what happened after the students harvested their crops in January, okay? In January specifically. Moving on, number 3 says, according to the article, so you have to look into the article. Why are students learning to grow gardens? Okay, so you got to dig deep in that article to figure out why it is that they're learning to grow the gardens. And number 4, what is this passage mostly about? Now, yes, this question does not ask you to identify the main idea, but it's pretty much the same thing. So what's the main topic of this article? Okay, what is it mostly about? And number 5. Number 5 is a fill in the blank. Okay, you got 3 options there for what word belongs in the space. I'll read the sentence to you, although it's not going to make sense until you find the word that belongs, okay? It says, teachers want kids to learn healthy eating habits, blank. Healthy foods give the body the energy it needs to grow and heal. Okay, that's it. 5 questions for today, and the rest of the week is about the same, okay? There's some questions to go along with each text that you read. Now let's go on to science. So pause the video and get yourself situated with the science portion. Open up. You're going to be on the Monday page. It looks like there's a sailboat, bicycle, car-like photo on there, okay? Alrighty, and hopefully you're there. So here it says, observe the vehicle below. What do you notice? What do you wonder? And what does the word engineer make you think? Alrighty, that's the hook there for today's science lesson. Once you've completely answered those questions, we can move on to the problem. And I will read this out loud to you, okay? It says, meet Susie STEM. Susie is a little mouse who loves engineering. She likes to design and build things to solve problems in our world. Today, Susie is trying to conserve energy by building a vehicle to use a renewable energy source. Susie lives on a street called Windy Way. The street is close to the ocean and is affected by sea breezes and land breezes. Susie loves to travel to see her friend Marvin Mole, who lives at the other end of Windy Way. The sea breeze blowing down the road travels toward Marvin's house during the day. At night, the land breeze blows back towards Susie's house. Susie wants to create a vehicle that can take advantage of the mechanical energy in the wind that is available on Windy Way to get to and from Marvin's house. The mechanical energy of the wind provides the energy necessary to move her vehicle forward. She would like to create a vehicle that moves the fastest using the force provided by the wind. Let's work as engineers to help Susie solve the problem. And I'm sure you all have a lot of different ideas going through your minds, okay? So we're going to help Susie solve her problem. The next section says ask. When engineers solve problems, they start by asking questions. So think about the questions below. They say, what is the problem I'm trying to solve? How can air be used to move things? What things help a car move faster? What materials or features could I use to help my vehicle harness the moving air? Well, the problem we're trying to solve is that Susie wants to be able to get to Marvin's house using a vehicle that uses the mechanical energy of the wind to get herself to Marvin's and back from Marvin's, okay? How can the air be used to move things? Well, we know that the air is blowing towards his house during the day and away from his house at night, okay? Next question is, what things help a car move faster? Well, if it's using the wind, look at that picture that's in the hook, okay? What things there might help that vehicle move faster, okay? And the next question says, what materials or features could I use to help my vehicle harness, meaning hold, the moving air, okay? And then if you turn the page, it says, engineering design ask, what other questions do you have? Make a list of questions and try to find answers. Asking questions is how engineers get to know the problem they're trying to solve. You don't need to build your solution today. Just ask a lot of questions to get to know the problem that you are solving, okay? What are some possible questions that come up while you're trying to answer how Susie can use the mechanical energy to get to Marvin's and back, okay? And it says, what level of challenge are you ready to complete? A beginner level says use a car, truck, or other moving vehicle that you already have and adapt it to use wind to move it. Intermediate level says create a car out of building blocks like Legos and adapt it to use wind to move it. An advanced level says design and build a car from building materials you find around your house and design it to use wind energy to move it. Remember, you don't have to build this today, okay? You're not building it today. You're just answering the questions like an engineer would, okay? Bye, Murphy. Then you got the exit slip. It says, what question do you think is most important to find an answer to in order to develop the best solution, okay? What question do you think is most important to find an answer to in order to develop the best solution? All right, my friends, that is it for reading and science today. I hope that you all have a wonderful Monday. I hope the weather stays, it gets a little better. It's a little wet outside. But yeah, I will talk to you all tomorrow. Toodles.